the Consumers Association of Penang's Facebook. We welcome here Ms. Saraswati Devi Odian, CAP's Education Officer, who will be speaking to you about how to, as Malaysia is rich in herbal plants, and we also have started growing vegetables in our gardens. She will also be sharing with us how to use this, grow this, and also use this in our daily life. Over to you, Ms. Saras.
Thank you, Magesh. Greetings from CAB and good morning to everyone. Please allow me to share my presentation before I go further on the topic today. Okay, the topic today is from garden to plate. All right. When we say garden to plate, mainly we are going to talk about herbal plants. I will say that herbal plants are nature's gift to us. Okay, and it has been used by our ancestor all along. But it's very sad to say that usage of herbal plants has started diminishing in the past few decades. Herbal plants, normally you can use it as remedies for some ailments, traditional medicine, nature treatment, and so on. And also you can use it as a food. What we are realizing now, many of us are not able to recognize many herbal plants. And even if we are able to recognize them, we don't know how to address the plants. We don't know the name of the plants. Names are forgotten. The values are unknown. And we are also becoming very doubtful about their usage. Okay. Actually, herbal plants are very rich in values, which has been carried from generation to generation by our ancestor. But lately, due to how shall I say that we are since it has been away from our culture and tradition, so we are being very doubtful about using the herbs in our daily life. So today, what I'm going to do is I've just selected about 9 herbal plants, including some flowers as well. I'm just going to share with you how we can grow it in our garden, in urban garden, and then how we can convert it as a food. Because basically, when we say herbal plants, our mind always tune it as a medicine. So it will be bitter, or the smell won't be pleasant. How am I going to take it? That kind of things always cross our mind. And we don't have to say about our kids. When the adults are already very doubtful about taking the herbs as their food, we need not say how the children are going to handle it. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the plants and also to discuss with you how we can convert it as food. And when we talk about herbal plants and food, we can't resist. It's a very interesting topic because you yourself will have a lot of knowledge on them herbal plants, which you can share it during this session. So since I've selected 9 herbal plants, I will suggest that after every plant's introduction, if you have your own idea of sharing with others how to use it as a food or as a medicine, I think you always can do that. Maybe we can give about 1 or 2 minutes for every plant. All right. Okay, with that, I'm going to introduce you the first plant. I am not sure whether many of us can recognize these plants. It is known as Colantro, and in Malay, we call it Ketumbar Jawa. I also put the scientific name there because in case our friends from overseas, they will want to refer it with the scientific name. It will be easier for them because normally, herbal plants will have different names in different country and even in districts. So some district in a huge country like India, in a different district, they will call it with different names. All right. So the scientific name will help to identify the plants. When we say Colantro, even if you Google the word Colantro, normally the word itself will go to cilantro. Cilantro is the coriander leaves which we use in our cooking, common coriander leaf which we use in our cooking for taste and food enhancer. Okay, but Colantro is slightly different from what you call the cilantro because when you look at the Colantro plants, the shape of the plants is different from what we see, what you call the cilantro, because this has a long serrated leaves. Can you see there are jagged at the side? So these are the serrated and long leaves. All right. Okay. Now, these leaves are a bit harder compared to the cilantro. Cilantro is very soft. That's the reason cilantro will be apply in the food as the last stuff when we are doing our cooking. Whereas this one will take some time to get cooked because it's thicker. All right. Now, this culantro leaves, we can make it into nice food. All right. Okay. Now, before that, I will introduce how we can grow culantro plants. When you buy it in the market, mainly you can see that culantro will have the roots. All right, and they will sell it with the roots. If you are buying it with the roots, it will be good that you can cut off this portion and you can keep it as your planting portion. All right, you just cut off this part. And then you can prepare your soil in a pot, even whether you're growing in a pot or on the soil, you just insert the roots in the pot. All right. Okay. Once you insert it, you in even a small pot, you can have the roots portion. You slightly insert the roots into the pot. Okay. You just give a space of about 2 to 3, about 5 inches in between, because when the plants grows, it will open up widely. All right, it will open up widely. All right, and then can you see on top of it there's a flower, and I put here the flowers here. Okay, now propagation of this plant, you can either use it as the roots, or even if you leave it for the plant to flower, then it will start having the fruits. Okay. Okay, now, whenever we grow plants, herbal plants, normally we want to harvest the leaves, you see. So when we want leaves, when the plants start growing and start having flower, it means the plant is getting ready to produce the next generation. Okay, so all the plant will focus on the production of the flower and the fruits. So if we are growing it for leaves, what we have to do, maybe if you have more than 2 to 3 plants, one plant you reserve it for the seeds. The other plants you can cut the leaves as they grow, so that you can use it as a food. All right. When you start cutting the leaves, you will have new shoots coming out. So for any plants which you want to harvest the leaves, this standard rules is applicable. So you can, if you keep harvesting the leaf, it will have more leaves. Of course, you have to add on your compost, and you have to water the plants. Those are the basic garden techniques, which I'm going to not going to talk about it. But just general rules that if you want herbal plants, you are keeping it for the leaves. You just if you want to collect the seeds and you want to share it with your friends or whatever, you leave one plant for the seeds. The rest all, when the flower comes, you have to cut off the flowers. When you cut off the flowers, then you'll have more leaves. Okay, that is the rules for any leafy plants. All right. For culantro, we use the roots to propagate, or if you leave the what you call culantro to flower and have the seeds, after sometimes the seed itself will drop all over the place, and you will start having the new babies. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you a very simple recipe. As I mentioned that earlier, herbal plants belongs to all the community. Okay, we in Malaysia we have all the different communities. Different community will have a different way of preparing as food. But today the recipes which I selected, it can be used by everyone. Okay. Now this is I'm going to share with you how we can make a dipping sauce with culantro. Normally culantro will have a very strong aroma. All right. Many people might not like the smell because it's very strong aroma and flavor. But if you are used to it, you will like the flavor and it will be like an appetizer for us to have better food. All right. So to make a dipping sauce, what we have to do is you select the leaves. Since we are going to have this as a raw preparation, you select the young leaves for this recipe. Okay. When you select the young leaves, make sure we wash it thoroughly, because if you are growing your colantro on the soil, the leaves will be touching the soil because it will open up. All right. So make sure we wash it properly, and then at the back of the leaf, you have to really clean it properly, and then you chop the leaves. After chopping, the amount of the leaves you can have it should be about 2 cups. Okay. And then you select some shallots, 4 to 5 shallots. If you don't like shallots, then you can use onion, a medium-sized onion, plus 2 green chilies. You use green chilies because if you're going to use Thai chilies or chili padi, it's going to be very hot. Okay, and then the taste will be not so pleasant. Okay, we choose 2 green chilies. If you have your own garden, you can harvest your own chilies there. And we are going to add some almonds inside here. All right. So for almonds, we have to soak it overnight to remove the skin. And then we just use the inner part. And of course, salt for taste. I put here rock salt. And I've put here sesame oil, 1 tablespoon. You can use sesame oil, pure virgin coconut oil. And you also can use olive oil. All right. Okay. Now I have selected sesame or coconut oil because it's more closer to our tradition. All right. So what we have to do is, once all this ready, chili, you have to chop it, of course, and then you have to remove the skin, put everything together, you just blend it. Once you blend it, this is how the sauce will look. All right. So if you want your kids or your little ones to have this, then you can give a fancy name to this, that you can call it pesto. Okay, Colantro pesto. Okay, now the oil part, after you blend it, you take the oil, you just heat it up a bit, and then you put inside the mixture and you mix it well. You see, as I mentioned earlier, Colantro leaves are a bit thicker. When you blend it, and then for the better absorption, it needs little bit of fat in it. So that's the reason we are adding the oil. Okay. Once you add the oil, you mix it well, and then you can let your children or you yourself can enjoy it as a dipping sauce for any fritters. If you have potato fries, whatever, you can have it as a dipping sauce. Okay. I think among Indians, we use it as a chutney, or we call it tawayal with this leaf. And then they will add slightly different items like coconut and tamarind and so on. If you want a little bit of sourish taste for this, then you can put what you call a lime, little bit of lime. So it's up to us. So when you blend it finely, you can really enjoy the taste. All right. So this is just one recipe for Colantro. And I am also not going to very detail about the medicinal values here, but Colantro basically helps to eliminate toxic from our body. So if we are going to consume it regularly, it's going to help in eliminating toxic from our bodies, and it also can help for indigestion. Those who are having indigestion problem, if you can consume this, it will be good. All right. So if any of you have any other suggestion, or you want to share how you can use Colantro as a food, you can share it with us now before I go to the next topic. All right. Anyone have any ideas how you can use Colantro as food in your own tradition or in your own home? If your grandmother is doing it for you, you want to share it now, you can share it with others. Since this year, our Green Action Week activities, our motto is sharing community is a caring community. So you have your knowledge to share here about Colantro, you please can do it now. Anyone?
Okay, there is someone, Miss Rita Go, has said she uses it in tom yum soup to enhance the taste.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Yes.
If anybody wants to share, you can also raise your hands using the reaction. Yeah, there is a icon there. You can raise your hand and also speak up. Thank you.
Okay. When Rita mentioned about using it in tom yum soup, it reminds me one of my Chinese friends told me that her mother used to use it for chicken, ketchup chicken. When she makes ketchup chicken, she says she will chop it very finely and she will mix it together with the dish. And she said it will give a nice aroma for the dish. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay, I think if there's no other sharing, then I'll go to the next plant. All right. Okay, this is called salom.
Sorry, Saris.
This is
Another one
again.
shared. Can also use the Colantro for garnishing on food.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
On top of
Okay, thank you. Right, you can use it as a garnishing stuff. Wonderful. All right. Okay, can I go to the next one then? Maybe later, if you have some other idea, at the end of the session, you can do that also. All right. Okay. Now, salom is a very common among Malay community in Malaysia. I think Indian and Chinese not so familiar with this, but it is a plant which really tastes good if you can make a krabu out of that. And in English, we call it water celery. All right. Okay, it is a very easily grown plant, and nowadays I noticed that and not every markets are selling these plants because eating ulam is also becoming very diminishing from the Malay community also, because among the younger generation they don't like to take ulams as their food. All right, so that's the reason I think whenever I go to market, I always look for type of herbal plants they are selling, and I don't come across this one that often. All right, now this salom is very easily grown plant. Yeah, it's very easily grown. When you buy it, you can use the stem cutting. Okay, can you see the stems will have the roots? So what we have to do is just collect the cuttings and then you just insert it in the soil. Whether it's a pot or on the soil, it's a sort of it will creep a bit. All right, it's a creeper kind of thing. It's not exactly creeper, but it has a long stem. So you just cut it in. After you take the leaves for cooking, you use the stem cutting to propagate. So this plant needs some moist soil. Okay, they grow well in a moist soil, meaning the soil has to be moist. All right, if it's too dry, then they can't grow well. And this fella needs a lot of compost as well. Okay, but it's very easily grown in a shaded area. It doesn't need direct sunlight, and it is a plant. If after when you harvest it, if you just leave it for a short while, and it will become what do you call very fast. It will become I can't figure out the word layu. Okay, so it is very soft plant. So if you buy this plant and if you come across this plant in the market, next time you can buy it, because I'm going to share with you how to make krabu out of that. You can, many of the herbal plants, we can convert it to food by making it as a krabu. Krabu is a raw way of eating the herbal plants. And I will suggest that whenever we are making krabu, it will be good if you can cut the leaves into small pieces, so that when you chew, especially those who really don't like to eat herbal plants, when you cut it very fine, it will be easier for them to eat it when you blend it with other stuff. Okay, for any krabu, if you are vegetarian, I'm going to tell you that if you are vegetarian, you can add dry, even you're vegetarian, non-vegetarian, you can add all this stuff. For non-vegetarian, you can have dry shrimp, all right, as additional stuff. Okay, for krabu, all you have to do is you take dry chili, but dry chili you have to fry it first, dry fry. You take the dry chili, you dry fry so that the chili will get cooked. In a very slow fire, you dry fry them. The chili, the amount of chili which you are going to use in krabu, you dry fry them. The same goes for coconut. Okay, we have a coconut here, you also dry fry them. So both the chilies and coconut will give the taste for the krabu leaves. Any krabu, you can use pogaga, you can use mint, you can use coriander and all that. If you want to make a krabu, these two, the chili and the coconut is the basic stuff. Okay. Some people use fresh coconut, but if you use a fried coconut, the taste will be better. All right. So for if you want to make what do you call salum krabu, all you have to do is dry fry the chili, dry fry the coconut, and then you take onion. Again, you have to chop the onion very fine, small, because when this picture purpose, we put the big onion so that it can be seen, and also the leaf, we did not cut it fine because we want to show. But onion, if you can cut it finely, you mix all together. Of course, you have to add salt and a few drops of lime. Okay, you just mix them well, and then you can serve it as food. So this is how the salom kerabu can be made very easily. As I mentioned, anything you want to eat, any what you call herbal plants which you want to eat it raw as a kerabu, you can use this as a recipe. And if you are not a vegetarian, you can add dry prawn. Again, dry prawn, you have to dry fry it first, and then you can pound together or you blend it. Okay. When you blend this chili and the coconut, you blend it coarsely. Don't make it very fine. Okay. You blend it coarsely so that it will be looking like this. Okay. And when you talk about salom is a very, very what you call a plant which has been used by Malay community for a very long time. All right, and it is basically can boost our immune system, and they said it's very high in antioxidant. All right, and salom is used to be a daily consumption for Malay people, those who are eating ulam in kampung areas. Okay, they consume it daily so that your immune system can become better by eating it every day. But nowadays, I mentioned earlier, eating ulam is becoming lesser and lesser. So not many people want to eat it. But Malay, when they eat it ulam, they will ask the sambal belacan, they'll have it. But for a rest, not so used to eating ulam, then we can convert it to become a krabu. And it is also a good remedy for cold and UTI, urinary tract infection. This salom plants help in urinary tract infection. If you consume it regularly, it is
LESKEEU.com WAW.
All right. Okay. Now about salom, is there anyone else have any idea how do you consume this? You can share it with us. Or if you are using it as a medicine, also you're welcome to share it with others. The propagation I already mentioned about. Someone is talking.
Yeah, sorry, we have muted Mr. Lee. For participants, please mute yourself here. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Anyone else interested to talk about salom here? And I don't know whether you have seen this plant before, or if eaten before. If you're new, if this plant is new to you, you can start looking for this and grow it at home and start consuming it, as it is very good to build up our immune system. All right. Anyone interested to talk about it? Or you have any other way of making krabu, you can share it with us also. All right. Maybe this salom is a bit not close to our eating culture. Maybe we can go to the next one. Next one is a very My computer is not moving. All right. Okay. Now we are on the third herbal plants. This is spring onion. I think all of us know spring onion, and it is down bawang in Malay. And spring onions, I think most of us use it in our cooking. All right. And it has very high vitamin C and B12, and it is one of the plant very easily grown. Anybody can grow it. All right. But I can share with you a simple technique how to grow this onion in a speedy way. Is whenever you want to grow your onion for the spring onion, you want the leaves, right? So you collect the onions, you have to cut the tip of the onion, cut it off. Okay, just a small portion of it, about this area, just cut off the tip of it. Then you insert into the soil, whether it's a pot or recycle container in the soil. How much leaves you are going to use depend on that. You can select a number of onions you want to grow, and then you just insert and then you sprinkle water. All right. And normally spring onion needs some amount of sunlight, and it can once it start growing, after you plant your onion, you can harvest it within 2 weeks. The leaves will be nice and healthy, and you just, if you keep cutting it, it will grow. Maybe once the very first time when you harvest your leaf, you just leave it for it to grow. The second time you can harvest it again. But if you are going to leave it for a long for the third harvest or fourth harvest, then it won't be giving you that much of leaves. Okay, it will be best you can that's why if you see in the market, you can see that spring onions, they will harvest it with the onion. You can see the bulb at the bottom. So if you can pull it out and then you can put a new one, then you'll be getting the new set of leaves after the new one start growing. But you can harvest it the first time and leave it the onion for it to grow the second time. It will have some amount of leaf. All right. And it is again need moist soil, and a full sunlight will make this onion leaves grow very well. All right. You can use shallots and also big onion to grow. Big onion will have the broader leaves. All right. The leaves will be thicker and broad. If you are using shallots to grow, then the leaves will be a bit smaller, and the taste more like will be the same. But only the big onion, the leaves will be bulky. All right. Basically, if you see the spring onion, it is known as antibacterial and antiviral properties, because onions is basically good for our health, you see. So, so when we are having like viral infection, flu, whatever, we are making some soup and all that, always you can use this spring onion because it helps to stimulate our respiratory activities. All right. And spring onion also helps to improve our appetite. Those who feel that not hungry, don't feel like eating, especially our kids, then you can start introducing this in the food. It will enhance their appetite. And then it has a lot of fiber also, which will help in the constipation and all that. And basically for blood circulation, spring onions really help a lot. So spring onion, you can use it in any cooking. All of us know any type of cooking. At the finishing stuff, you always can put the spring onion. And here I have a recipe for you how to add it in the kacang kuda. Kacang kuda is chickpea. Okay, chickpea is very rich in protein. So if you are cooking chickpea at home, normally we'll buy a chickpea from outside. But if you're cooking it at home, very simple. You buy the dry ones and then you soak it for 8 to 10 hours. Okay, the dry one will be really hard. And for it to become tender, you really have to soak it for 8 to 10 hours. And in between, when you're soaking it, if you see that the water has some bubbles or what, you just remove and top it up with the new water. And once after soaking, then you can pressure cook it. All right, or you can cook it. If you don't have a pressure cooker, you just cook it until it becomes soft. It has to become soft. Okay, if because basically the chickpeas will have a lot of gas in it. All right, and if it's half cooked, and then the gas won't be released properly. So when we so the basic rules for chickpeas or any other pulses, when you cook it, make sure you cook it soft. It has to become soft and tender. All right, so once you cook it and then you drain out the water, and then you can fry it. Okay, this you are going to add some taste to the chickpea. Some people will just boil it with salt and then they will eat it like that. But it will be interesting if you can add some onion and ginger garlic paste in it, and then you fry it. Okay, this is you put a little bit of oil, you put some onion, some ginger and garlic. You just pound it, make it a paste, and then let it cook until nice fragrance comes out. And then you put the chickpea, and then at the ending part you add your spring onions. Spring onions will get cooked very fast, so the color will change. It will become dark. So make sure that you only add the spring onion as the at the ending point. When you finish cooking, when you make the chickpea mix well with the oil and onion and all that. Once you put the spring onion, just turn off the fire and then you mix it well. Then you serve it. So it will look so. It will be very delicious to eat with spring onion. Then same thing, if we are not using spring onion, some people will use coriander leaves, some people use curry leaves, but normally when we put curry leaves, we don't eat the curry leaves. All right. But when we cut and chop it into small sizes and put it in the chickpeas like that, then you can't, the children especially, they cannot be picky. They have to eat it together with the chickpeas, and it will give nice taste as well. All right. So and then any other cookings you can use what do you call spring onion, and you can eat it raw also. When you make your bihun or noodles, when you goreng, you just uh, chop it finely and then just garnish it at top, and then you eat it. So it will be good if you can grow your own onion at home, because it's very simple to grow. You don't have to struggle much to grow a spring onion, and you can comfortably eat it, because when you grow it yourself, you're not going to use any chemical. All right, it's free from chemical, and if you know that you are growing it and you're harvesting it, and you can get involved your children. You teach your children, ask them to observe how it grows. When the shoot comes out, they'll feel excited. Ask them to take photograph, and keep it, and then they can share it with some people. So spring onion is something very interesting to grow. So teach your children how to grow it, and then once they start to grow their own plants, eating the plants won't be difficult for them. They will enjoy. Hey, look here! I have grown this plant, and I'm going to eat it today. So they'll get very excited. And then medicinal values, I think all of us know that the onion basically very good, and I mentioned about it, the properties earlier. So if you have any other ideas how we can use spring onion, you can share it now before we go to the next herbal plants. All right. Okay, any suggestion for growing or for using spring onion as food? Okay, if there is nothing, then I go on to the next one. Okay, next one. Okay, this is a very interesting plant, and this is called Indian borage in English, down labuju in Malay. Okay, and if you see, I have put two different pictures here. One is green, the bottom one is the green one, the plain one, the common one, we always see it. And this is very getting very popular now. This is spotted Indian borage. Basically, both have the same medicinal value, but when it comes to taste, the spotted one will have a stronger flavor compared to the normal one. All right. And growing this Indian borage is something very, very simple, because when we do our program for school children, we always conduct programs for school children, growing herbal plants and all that, because we are encouraging schools to start have their own herbal corner. So when we introduce plants to them, we always introduce Indian borage as the first plant for them to grow. Any children who are learning to grow their own plants, we always encourage them to use Indian borage as a first plant, because the survival rate of Indian borage is about 90%, I will say. So it's very simple. Use the stem cutting. Can you see the stem cutting? Okay, just use the stem cutting, insert in any pot, any container. They will start growing very fast. All right, and it needs full sunlight. This plant will need sunlight. If it's not enough sunlight, the plant itself will tell you that the leaves will be very far apart, because normally when you grow this, the Indian borage, the leaves will be close to each other. But if it's lacking of sunlight, you can see the leaves will be apart from one another. So there'll be quite a distance from one leaf to another leaf. That will tell you that, that the leaf is talking to you, telling you that, hey, look here, I need some sunlight to grow better. Okay, and then Indian borage is very common among all the communities, I believe, because of their high medicinal value, right? And it has a very strong aroma also. The smell really very pungent, I will say. And eating it as normally we know that Indian borage can be used as medicine for cold and flu and so on, even for fever. All right. Today I'm going to introduce to you how to use it as a food. Okay. If we know that Indian borage really helps in fighting phlegm and cold, but whenever we have a cold, we always we will see this plant in front of our house. But I wonder how many of us will go and plug the plant and use it as a medicine. We always want to go to the doctor and get the medicine rather than using this as a medicine for a simple cold and flu. All right, and this plant also has a lot of vitamin A and C. Okay, now this from herbal value, medicinal values, I'm going to switch it to we can consume it as a food. All right. You can make a nice herbal tea with Indian borage. Okay, all you have to do is, if it's boiling water, you just drop about 6 leaves in the water. You cover it up. All right, and then you can, if you want to sweeten it, you can put honey or processed sugar. Then you will have nice Indian borage tea to drink. You can take it warm, it will really taste good. And if you are making like any soup or whatever, you always can add on that as an ending stuff, especially when you are recovering from cold and flu. If you add on this into the soup or rasam, Indians will make rasam, you can add on the last item in the rasam or soup, which will give nice aroma, and it will help for the chest congestion. For children, we can do scramble. If you want to make your children to eat this, you can make a scrambled egg with Indian borage. Just cut them into small pieces. You mix it with water. You mix it with egg, and then you can fry them. So when you cut it into small pieces, your children wouldn't know that there is Indian borage inside there. You also can have it as a food. All right. Okay. And the tea and the egg is quite common among all of us. I think many Chinese community, many of them mix it with their scrambled egg when they want to consume. All right. And I have another recipe for you for Indian borage. It's a fritter. Can you see the shape of the fritter here? Okay. It's very simple, just like any other fritters. You have to use chickpea flour, and then you add some rice flour to give the crispiness for the fritters. And then you add on all this stuff about what do you call a cumin seed, and then some asafoetida, salt, and chili powder to make a batter with all this. And then you pluck the leaf. As I mentioned earlier, the same basic rules. Whenever you pluck your leaf, just wash it thoroughly. You check at the back what is, in case there is any unwanted stuff hiding at the back. Just clean it thoroughly, and then you can dip it in the flour in the batter, and then you fry it. It will taste so good. Your children will love this. They wouldn't know that you have used Indian borage as a frying stuff for them. All right. So you see now this we know that Indian borage is very good for phlegm, and especially during rainy season, our kids always get cold and phlegm very easily. So what we can do is we introduce this Indian porridge as food to them. Either you can mix it with the egg, you fry and give it them, especially during the rainy season. Protect them from the common cold and flu. Okay, that means you're giving a shield to your child that when you make them eat this regularly, then they're not going to get cold and flu that easily. Okay, and you believe me that if you are going to make a fritter out of this, your children will love it. We also used to teach school children how to make fritters. Once a group of students, they made this and distributed to the public, and all of them so amazed to see that, oh, Indian borage can be converted into fritters. Oh, that is very interesting. So until you try, you don't know how to how it will help you. All right. So what we are trying to do here is we are giving some different look and way so that these herbs can be consumed regularly in our food. Okay, something which is good, which is cheap, we don't have to spend money. Why are we wasting it? Many of us always leave our Indian borage plants not grow as just leaving it to grow like that, and then once in a while we just cut and throw it away. Many of us are doing that. So now onwards you can start doing this. Bring it to your kitchen, use it as a food. And then if you find it good, then you can always share it with others also. And I'm also looking forward to hear from you that you have any other recipes for Indian borage to use as food. I'll be really interested to hear that. Okay, you can use both the spotted one and the plain one for this fritters. All right, and you can enjoy it. If you for an evening snack, you always can make this and make your child take it, especially during the rainy season. They will really enjoy it. Okay, do you have any other recipes to share with us?
Okay,
on the Indian borage?
Saras, there was quite a number of messages on the chat box. So our friend from Philippines, Bo, she says she takes the cuttings of the Indian borage and she puts it in a vase inside the house because it gives the house a nice fresh fragrance. She also uses it as long runner or to drape on branches as a Christmas tree. And a friend from Philippines, Sharma, she says she loves the scent and they call it oregano, and she likes it as tea but has never tried as food. So we'll definitely try the scrambled egg. Yeah, it's because you are giving very simple recipes. Yeah, it's easy for them to cook. And Miss Rita Go, she thanked you for the fritter recipe, and she's asking whether it's the same recipe for bitter gourd. Yeah, the best actually. Yeah.
Okay, Magesh. Thank you, Magesh. Thank you, friends, for sharing such a wonderful tips. And yes, for bitter gourd, you can use the same batter for any fritters. Okay, more alike for the better for the fritters is the same recipe. Only thing you can replace the cumin seed with pepper or whatever, because the purpose we use this cumin and asafoetida is chickpea basically full of wind. Okay, some people will have gas trouble, so to balance it up, we are using cumin seed and also asafoetida. You also can add on with pepper, so it's the same batter. You can try it; it will be wonderful. And putting it in a vase and leaving it at home for the nice what you call aroma. It is some good tips. Thank you for sharing it, and please try it as food as well.
Yeah.
All right.
So Bo
Okay.
says he also uses it in fish soup. And
Okay.
when we had children, so we used to make porridge. Yeah, slice it finely and then put it in the porridge for the children to eat.
Okay.
That's
Beautiful.
thanks.
We have a lot of recipes today, new recipes for Indian porridge. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Now with that, I would like to go on with the next slides. That is on what? Okay. Now, kadok. Kadok is wild pepper. Okay. It will look like sire, bitter leaf, but this is not bitter leaf. This is wild pepper, we call it, kadok. And this is a very easily grown plant also. I've chosen plants which is very easily grown without much hassle, so that everybody can try growing it at your house and then use it as a food. All right. This is again, you can use your stem cutting. Okay, this is very easily grown plant. Kadok is something which is very easily grown, and just use the stem cutting, they will grow very well. All right. It is I will say it is more sort of creeper, because it doesn't really grow tall. It will try to creep a bit, but not as a long creeper. You just keep trimming the leaves, then you can manage it very well. And basically, if you see the kadok leaf or wild pepper, the leaves are very shiny, dark green, and it will be really shiny. Whereas we always get confused with the bitter leaves. Bitter leaves doesn't have this kind of color. It is a lighter shade and it doesn't shine. Whereas kadok really can shine, and then it will have a like waxy kind of layer on top of it. Okay, and it can propagate it with the stem. You just buy, if you are buying it or your friend is sharing it with you, just take the stem cutting, put it in the pot, they will start growing. All right. And it will grow in a shady, it needs partly shaded area, so that they can grow really well in a shaded area. And then the soil has to be moist, and of course you can add your compost and so on. Right. So this is very easily maintained. You can easily maintain this plant. Okay. Now, if you talk about the health benefit of kadok, kadok is widely used as a salad. All right. In many community, they use it as a salad, and some community use it as a wrapper. Okay. In Thai food, they use it as a wrapper. The recipe I will share it with you later. And in some community, they use the leaves as what you call, they mash it up the leaf. They will apply for headache. All right, and then join eggs also. Some communities are doing that as a medicinal aspect. And other than that, it is they say it is also good for gums, and it will make our teeth strong. All right, maybe regular consumption of this will help to do that, because it is good. It is helping us in digestion. Kadok leaf always help us in digestion. All right, that is a very common fact. So whenever something is helping us with the digestion, it means that the food we take will be absorbed easily by our system. Okay, most of the time when we consume food, if the system is not absorbing it, and we won't be benefiting from the food which we are consuming. But if the food we are consuming going to help us with the digestion, meaning the absorption of other nutrient will be better. So this kadok leaf will help us in that manner. And again, I'm going to share with you how to make a fritter with kadok leaf. So kadok leaf is also very tasty if you make a fritter out of that. The same recipe, the chickpea flour, rice flour, pepper powder, turmeric powder, chili and salt. Okay, make a batter, you dip and fry it. Or you can, those who don't wish to use chick flour, and if you don't get chick flour in your area, you always can use your own what do you call it, rice flour. Maybe you can add on a little bit of wheat flour and make a fritter. All right. So if you can't get chick flour, that doesn't mean you can't do fritters. You can use your wheat flour, but of course you have to mix it with rice flour so that it will give some crispy taste. All right. Okay, and you also can make an omelette with down kadok. Okay, the wild pepper. You cut them into small piece. You can put little bit of garlic, and then make your omelette and make your kids to enjoy it. So this is two ways of eating. And then the other recipe for this one, what you call kadok, will be the wrapper. This is very popular dish in Thailand, and many people will like the taste. All right, very simple, but though this bit too much of work for us to do, but you can have this as one of the dish whenever you are inviting your friends or you're having any function. You can give this as a starter, because as I said, that this one, the kadok leaf will help us with the digestion, and it is a very good starter. All right. Okay. Now, for this is very simple. Again, we are going to eat the kadok leaf with the fresh. All right. But what we can see is, you can see some ginger here. Okay. For this, if you can choose young ginger, will be great. Young ginger, you just remove the skin, you chop it. You don't chop it so fine because it's going to be a biting piece. All right. And then some peanuts. You dry fry the peanuts, remove the skin. You can, they make it into a coarse powder here, but you can have it raw. Like, I mean, you don't even have to do that because you can bite it. And then what you can see is a lime which they have cut it into small pieces. All right. This will give a nice taste when you do the wrap. Okay. You take your lime. If you think that lime will have a bitter taste, the skin, you can remove the skin, and then you can cut it finely. Again, this is all biting size. It's not very fine, it's biting size. That means each person can take 1 or 2 pieces of that. And here what we have is coconut. You cut the coconut and then you dry fry it. Okay, same thing, the peanuts you dry fry. This is also dry fry. And then we have onion here. Onion also cut biting size. You cut it into biting size. And they've added some chili here. Those who like it hot, they will put that chili, Thai chili or chili padi. But if you don't wish to have them hot, and then you can omit this. And this is a sauce. This sauce you can make with locally we use satay choir, but you can make your own sauce by adding some ginger, galangal, and what you call onion and garlic. And then you make you grind little bit of chili powder. You grind chili, and then you put everything together. You put it in the oil, let it get blend, and then you add little bit of brown sugar and some grinded peanut. Then you get this sauce. I think every other community will make their own sauce in their own way. But the satay kwa is quite popular here, which you can make it your own. You can use your satay kwa. And then what you have to do is you take the leaf. After you washing it, remove the unwanted part, and then you take each item of this, and then you put it inside. All right. You take 1 piece of ginger, 1 piece of lime, a few pieces of onion, some amount of coconut, and also peanut. Once you put everything inside, you add this sauce to give you the taste, and then you just wrap it as you like. Actually, there is a way of wrapping it, But this is just holding it and put it in your mouth and you start chewing it. So it will give a nice taste because you are mixing so many stuff and you won't really feel the kadok leaf taste. All right. Those who are not non-vegetarian, you can use your dry shrimp. Okay, dry shrimp also you can really soak it in water and then you wash it properly. Then you can dry fry it, or you can just dry fry it and then put it there, and then you add as one of the ingredients. That is for those who like non-vegetarian. Otherwise, if you are vegetarian, this is good enough already. Some people also use nutmeg pieces. The one you can buy it from the shop, which give additional taste to the wrap. Okay, so all these have a good medicinal value. You see, like a lime and peanut and ginger. So it is also, all this stuff will help for digestion, and it is a very good appetizer when you are starting to start your food. If you have this, of course, you won't be able to have this every day at home. But if you're having a function, let's say at home, or if you are working in your company or in your school, you can introduce this as a healthy food. All right, healthy starter for the whatever function you're organizing. And then so that many people will know how to consume this leaf, because this leaf is very easily grown in our local condition. You can see it everywhere. Okay, only thing we have to put some effort and then learn how to use it as a food, and then we really can enjoy the health benefits, and also we can enjoy the taste of it. All right, and if any of you have any other idea of how to use kadok leaf as a food, please share it with us. And there are some community, like I think Indonesian will make tea out of kadok leaf. They will boil and drink that, and then they use it. It works as a medicine. All right. Whereas for, I think Chinese also, they have a different way of using it. I think they will use it in soup and as a salad. All right. When you eat it as a salad, if you just chew the leaf, it is not going to be so tasty. But if you are going to add on all this, and then it is really can give you a nice taste. All right. Okay. If you have any other what do you call recipe for kadok leaf, please share it with us. Some people will say that the kadok leaf will have some kind of odor. They can't take it, but it's the way we take it, because it is actually nice aroma. This leaf gives a nice aroma, and when you convert it into food, and it really gives nice taste as well. All right. Any other recipes? Please share it with us.
Okay, yes, Saras. Miss Rita has shared that in Thailand, it is used as toothpaste, and it's called mengkam. And she also shared that you chop the kadok finely, and you can use in perut ikan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And also there were some messages in CAP's Facebook. So one of them was asking, how do you propagate sawtooth coriander?
Okay.
Where?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Maggie, I will address that question.
Probably later. And
Later.
another question was in terms of the Indian borage. So is there a way to dry it for tea? Because when you're traveling, you don't have the fresh borage. Because
Okay.
Miss Celine Lim, she had tried. And then she said when she dries the leaf, it turns brown. So maybe you want to
Later.
speak later, or?
I think I'll address the question later. I already took note of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Magesh. And I'm also interested to know that kadok is used as a toothpaste in Thailand. Is it possible if you can share it, how they use it? Do you have any idea?
Miss Rita, I will unmute and maybe you can share with us.
Unmute.
Yes.
I have a toothpaste that's made in Thailand. It contains about more than 10 different herbs, and kadok is one of them.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe
Thank
I
you.
will just share the link of it's not available here, but I buy this special toothpaste from Thailand all the time. And yeah, I know kado is one of the ingredients, the secret ingredient.
Okay.
And this particular formulation is suitable for people with diabetics and also has won an award before.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Rita.
Yeah. Another message in Facebook was kaduk curry with prawns. You can
Okay.
add on the kaduk for most of your.
Yeah. Actually, okay. Very interesting. Kadok leaf in prawn curry. Actually, just being creative when we do our cooking, how to use these herbs, just try it out. And if it tastes good, we really can carry on. And yeah, kadok is basically good for gums and it makes our teeth strong. So it makes sense that they use it in the toothpaste preparation. But I was wondering whether they are using it directly. Thank you very much for the information. All right. And the other two question, we will address it at the end of the session and we'll go on with the next herbs. That is Fenugreek. All right. Fenugreek is biji halba in Malay. And this is very common ingredient in our cooking in Malaysia. All right. And today I'm going to share with you how we are going to make a vegetable from fenugreek seeds. Basically, fenugreek is very very good for health, because it always consumed by people to regulate their sugar level, glucose level in the body. All right. So, and then those who are breastfeeding mothers or lactation time, if they want more milk, they will normally consume what you call fenugreek. And fenugreek is very rich in iron. So it's very good for ladies. Okay, I always, when I talk to younger children, teenagers in schools, I always say your good friend, you make fenugreek as your good friend in your life so that your body will have enough blood. You won't be anemic. All right. Because the Tamil name for fenugreek, we call that vendayam. It means it carries a very good meaning. It means that it's cooked iron. Vendayam means iron. All right. It's cooked iron, meaning it will, once we consume it, the nutrient in it will be absorbed straight away into our body. You see. So that is the reason I always tell the younger girls that make fenugreek as your good friend, then your body will be healthy and then you will look really strong and vigorous. All right. Okay. Now, to grow fenugreek leaf is very, very simple. I think all of us, many of us have fenugreek at home because we use it in the cooking as a spice. But today I'm going to teach you how to grow it as a vegetable. Okay. All we have to have is a pot of soil. Of course, you have to mix it with compost and get it ready. And then you take the fenugreek seed, you just spread it around in the soil. Okay. You don't have to put one after another as shown in the picture. You just take a small amount of it and then you spread it around the soil here. You just spread it all over the place. Don't overcrowd it, but just spread it evenly all around the areas. And then after spreading it, you take one handful of sand, soil, and then you cover up the seeds. Okay. Not necessarily fully you have to cover it, but you make sure that most of it are covered with the soil. After you spreading it, you take one handful of soil and then you cover up the fenugreek so that it will be easy for the fenugreek to grow. Okay. And after you spread it, after you spread the soil, of course you have to water it. because when you are using fenugreek directly on the soil, fenugreek are basically dried. You see, it's a dried version, so it will take time for it to germinate. It should be germinating within 3 days after you start putting water. I always say that whenever you are using any seeds for growing, the seeds are sleeping. They are at the sleeping stage. All right. When they start germinating, you are waking them up by putting a nice condition, putting them in the soil, and then sprinkle water so that the moist will help them to uh, rise from their sleep. Then they will start germinating. That is always to interest the children. We always explain like that to them. All right. So within 3 days, you can see them germinating. Then once they start germinating, this is how it should look. So that means when you are putting your seeds, you cover the entire area, and then they will start germinating, and then you can harvest it within 2 weeks. All right, very fast. And then how do you harvest? You pull out the whole thing. Okay, you don't cut. You pull out the whole thing. With the root, you can use it. Okay, when you pull it up, of course, it will have a lot of soil sticking to that. Fully grown leaves will be like this. Okay, if you can even leave it for 3 weeks. Okay, the longer you leave it, it will have a more the bitter it will be. Basically, fenugreek have slightly bitter taste. So if you leave it longer in the soil, and then the bitterness will be increasing. All right, so it will be good if you can harvest it earlier so that you can make the young ones to eat. My concern here is we want to introduce this one as a food to our young ones, because all these herbal plants are, as I mentioned, they are very precious, full of nutrient, full of values. So we have to introduce to the younger generation. All right. So once this leaf is ready, you can use it for any cooking. Again, you can use it as one of the ingredients, scrambled egg, or if you are making nice potato at home, and then you use it as a final item in the potato. Okay. If you're making rasam, you can add on. If you make soup, you can add on. If you make chicken, also you can add on. Just like cilantro, coriander leaves, you can add on this in your cooking. But as I mentioned, it will have slightly bitter taste. So you have to make sure that you don't overdo it. Too much of it, it might spoil the taste of your cooking. So when you're introducing something new to the family members, you have to do it very delicately. You do it slowly, introduce a bit, and then see how they are responding. They like it, then you increase the amount. Okay. And if you are making chapati of your own, of course, you can add it in your chapati flour when you are making the dough. Then you have this fenugreek leaf chapati. Otherwise, you use as a ending food in any cooking. And of course, if you want to eat it raw, if you want to eat it raw, I will suggest that you use it as the stage of sprouting. Sprouting when fenugreek and growing the leaf is slightly different. Sprouting means it's very simple. Maybe I can explain to you. I'm sorry I did not thought about it earlier. I just realized that maybe I should have put that. What I showed you just now is how to grow the leaves. That means it's a vegetable. Fenugreek becoming vegetable in our food. Whereas sprouting is, all you have to do is you take some, maybe for trial, what you can do, you take 1 tablespoon of fenugreek, you soak it. You soak it few hours, at least 6 to 7 hours. Before soaking, of course, you have to wash it thoroughly, and then you soak it. And then after soaking it for several hours, about 6 to 7 hours, you just strain it. Okay, you strain it, you put it in a cloth, a muslin cloth or whatever cloth, and then you you just wrap it, and then you leave it like that. You sprinkle little water. Maybe the cloth, you can, once you put it in the cloth you put it in a strainer, and then you sprinkle water. So the next day you can see that the fenugreek will start having their tail. Little tail will be coming out. All right. And then you leave it for another day. The tail will be slightly longer. And then you can just wash it, and then you can have it raw. Okay. As a raw food, as a raw salad. This is sprouting. So that because you are consuming it raw, so it won't be so bitter if you can sprout it. But if you are going to grow it as a vegetable, so that everybody, not everyone would like to eat the sprouting stuff freshly like that. If you cook it like this, you'll make sure that everyone at home can enjoy this. Okay. And if you have any other recipes for fenugreek leaves, you can please share it with us. And one of my friends, she will eat the sprouted fenugreek with fresh coconut. She said it by itself, I don't really like it. She will add some brown sugar in it, and then she'll put some coconut, and then she will eat it raw every morning. So she said it tastes good for her, but it depends on us how we want to eat it. But my concern here is that the herbal plant should be enjoyed by every member of our family, so that we try to cook it as food. All right. If you have any other recipes, please share it with us. For fenugreek leaf,
There was nothing on the chat box.
nothing.
You
All right.
can raise your hands. No, nothing.
Okay, right. So I will go on with the next slides. I think I got 2 more slides. This is the second last one. Okay, this is mint leaf. I think this is we are very familiar with. Easily grown. Whenever you buy your mint, you take the leaves for cooking, and then you take the stem cutting, you just put it in the soil, they will start growing. Okay. And then for mint leaf, you don't put it directly under the sun. Maybe a partly shaded area will be better, but they can resist sunlight, shouldn't be a problem. But the secret for more leaves is you have to keep trimming them. You keep trimming them, then you'll have more leaves. Otherwise, they will start, the leaves will look very unhealthy and so on. So it's a very easily propagated plant. All right. And then for mint leaf, I think all of us have know how to use mint leaf. It's a very common plant. We use it for all our cooking, especially if you have non-veg cooking like chicken and mutton. And for our biryani and tomato rice, we use it as one of the important ingredient. But we can use it as a mint tea also. We can make nice tea with mint. Then the fragrance is beautiful. And always remember, whenever we are making herbal tea, if you are taking as a tea, you can always sweeten it with honey or unprocessed sugar. Unless you are taking it as a medicine, then you have to omit the sugar part. Sugar part, unprocessed sugar. I'm not talking about the white sugar. I'm talking about the palm rock sugar or the jaggery or whatever unprocessed sugar. All right. So that will give a nice taste. I'm encouraging that so that we can introduce this kind of tea to our children. All right. No matter any type of tea you're making, you want your children to drink. Sorry, you want your family members to drink. Just add on some amount of unprocessed sugar in it, so it will taste good. They will enjoy their tea. And then for mint, we also add as one of the ingredients for our ginger tea. If you are making a ginger tea, we are just boiling ginger to make a nice ginger tea. If you add on some mint leaf, it will give nice, pleasant smell to the tea, and then the taste will good, really go very nice, fragrant. Sorry. So the mint tea is a very common made by everyone. So you can really enjoy when you make your ginger tea once in a while, once a week or twice a week. You make this tea, that your family members enjoy it. All right. And then for mint, I also can introduce to you mint sauce, I call it. This one you can use as a bread spread. Okay, you try this, it will be lovely. You take 2 cups of mint leaf, but make sure that you grow your own mint leaf. Again, for same reason, because it will be free of chemical and you know what you're growing. And then you put lots of your compost, and then the leaves will be really nice. You just go and pluck it from the garden, and then you make it like that. It'll be really interesting to do that. So you take at least 2 cups of the leaves, just leaves, remove the stem, And then you add one piece of tomato, medium-sized tomato, and also about 2 pieces of chili for the taste. All right. If you think that your kids can't take chili so much, then you can cut it down to one. Okay. And then garlic, about 2 cloves, and a little bit of ginger, about 1 inch. Remove the skin. You cut everything together. You put it in the blender. You blend it. Of course, you have to add your salt. And then at the final stage, you just put a few drops of lime juice, and then you apply it on the bread. It really tastes good. You'll have a different type of bedspread instead of using jam and then the commercially prepared sauce. You can use this, which is very natural, without preservative, without chemical, without sugar. You can enjoy the taste of the sandwich in a different way. So it's very, very simple to prepare. Everything will be raw. You grind. Only thing, you can't keep this for many days. But if you go to any Indian shop, normally they make mint chutney. Chutney is another sambal kind of thing. So you eat it with tossa, idli, and all that. And you can use this as a dipping sauce again. Right? If you are using it as a dipping sauce, maybe you can add a little more water to that. When you're blend this stuff, make sure that you don't put a lot of water. It will become watery. So the consistency, you will know while you're doing it. But believe me, this one will really give nice taste. And I think, of course, your children will enjoy this. I don't know. Maybe just try and see their response with a different kind of bread spread for them. All right. This is mint sauce. We call it mint sauce. And if you have any other recipes, please share it. And bellies of mint, I think all of us know it is very good appetizer. It will help in digestion and helps to fight the flu and all that, build up our immunity and all that. Basically, this kind of herbal plants are doing that kind of, it gives that kind of benefits to our body. Basically, they will boost our immune system so that we don't fall sick that easily. All right. So, if you have any other recipes related to mint, you can please share it.
Miss Rita has shared that can make mint dip with yogurt, garlic, and lemon juice.
Yes. Wonderful. Yeah, this is slightly different recipe. Thank you, Rita. That one really will taste good because you're adding yogurt to that. And those who don't like yogurt, then you can stick to this. But when we make chutney, normally whenever we make chutney, we will use tamarind instead of lime, right? And you can, they always, some people will use tomato, some people won't use tomato. It depends. It depends on our creativity and how we want the taste. When you're making it, the first trial, you can add on some stuff. The second trial, you can replace with other stuff. See which one your family members like it. And then you can do it as they like. All right. Okay. And then with that, I'm going on with my next slide. I think that will be the last slide for the day. This is
Saris, this
yes,
is sharing Miss Yap Beng Hong. She says she makes mint soup, break an egg into it.
Oh, yes. That will be lovely, I think. Because I remember my mother used to do that whenever she makes rasam for people who are, we are very recovering from flu. Normally, we'll make rasam. Rasam will have a lot of pepper, garlic, and those stuff. And then at the finishing stuff, she will put one egg, and then she'll make the person drink so that it will be rejuvenated. So when she mentioned about the soup with mint leaf, that reminds me that. Thank you very much for sharing. Any more, Magis?
No.
No. So I can go on with the next slide. Okay, this is a very nice color. It looks so lovely. I think many of us can recognize this butterfly pea, ngatalang in Malay. And the flower is such a lovely color we have. Okay. Actually, the scientific name has some hidden meaning in it. Even the Tamil name carries that meaning. The shape of the flower, it is like a female organ, all right, similar to that. So some communities believe that this flower is very good for women reproductive system. It can cure a lot of this is believed by certain community. So maybe it will carry some strong message in it, because the scientific name is literally giving that kind of meaning. All right. Okay. Now, butterfly pea is very easily grown. It is a creeper. Normally, you let it creep on your pan, then they will nicely creep, and then they'll give beautiful flowers. All right. So all you have to do is it will have small peas like this when it grows, and then if you want to collect the seed, let it dry it up, and then once it's fully dried, then you can collect the seeds. And then if you want to propagate, just use the seeds. You put it in a pot, they will start germinating. It will take about at least 2.5 months before it starts flowering from the seed stage. All right. And it has different variety. This is single petal and this is double petal. All right. And then you can use both for the whether it's single petal or double petal. You can use both as food when you want to consume. And I remember that when I go to Thailand, they use this as a salad. They use the flower itself as a salad. You don't even have to cook it. You just take it as one of the salad. And here I have two recipes together. One is butterfly pea drink. I think this is very popular nowadays. A lot of people make their own tea with the flower. It's very, very simple to make. You just take hot water, you drop few flowers in it. All right. Then even two will be sufficient. The color will change immediately. And then, of course, you can add some brown sugar or any other unprocessed sugar or honey. And then if you want a better taste, just add a few drops of lemon juice in it. And then you will have a nice, lovely drink. All right. And children will love this color. Okay. Instead of buying all the colored and soft drinks to our kids, we can always introduce this kind of herbal drinks. Okay. Even with what do you call hibiscus, you can make nice tea. All right. And then this on the right hand side, we have a plate full of rice. This is Nasi Lemak or coconut milk rice, which is very popular in Malaysia. So next time when you cook your coconut rice, Nasi Lemak, just pluck a few flowers of this, you add on into the cooking. Either you can put it straight away. If you put it straight away after cooking, you have to remove the flour, or you just soak the flour a few minutes in the water. You use that water as to cook the rice. Okay, so it will give nice color. If you want your rice to be darker, you use more flour. If you want it to be lighter, then you can add a little flour into that, and then it will have a nice what do you call bunga telang, nasi lemak bunga telang. All right, butterfly pea, coconut rice with coconut milk. Okay, now basically, if you see what do you call butterfly pea, they say it is very good for eyesight. Okay, and many people in many community, they use butterfly pea flower for their to improve their eyesight. In Bali, when they call bunga telang, they say literally it gives the meaning as a clear vision. So to improve our vision, they say that butterfly pea flower really helps a lot. And it is also help in eye infection like conjunctivitis and all that. It helps as one of the medicine. We know you use the water to rinse your eyes, it will help. And it is also my colleagues in my office always say that If you take butterfly pea, you can really get good sleep. Those who are suffering from insomnia, if you continuously take butterfly tea drink, it will help to get a good sleep. And of course, this is a very good what do you call ingredient to flush out toxins from our body. Okay, basically these herbal plants and the flowers and the plants, basically how they work in our system, they flush out the toxins and then they build up our immunity. When the toxins is out of the system, then generally our immune system will boost up. And butterfly pea also helps in digestion. All right. So when we take it as a food, it really helps in digestion. And of course, many of us suffering from lack of sleep nowadays because of our lifestyle, too stressful. So this one will promote good, healthy sleep. So if you're having sleeping problem, disorder in sleeping, maybe you can start trying taking this continuously for a month or two, then see whether it is improving the sleeping pattern or not. And top of it, the color is so beautiful, it can attract anyone, especially our kids. If you can introduce to them, it will be really wonderful thing. This kind of activity you can ask them to do. Ask them to make their own butterfly pea tea. You guide them how to make, and then they will be, once they make it, believe me, they want to drink it. Okay, we don't have to force them. Okay, if you have any of you have any other recipes or any other method of consuming it, please share it with us now, because we are almost at the ending session ready. This plant is, as I mentioned, is a creeper, and it can really last. Okay, once you start growing them, you add on more compost to it, you just take care of it, it will start flowering for a few years. Okay, and then the seeds also will drop, and then they will have new young ones coming. So they will be replacing the old ones. So you really don't have to look after it very well. And then if you are going to grow it on the fence, of course, it will look so lovely with the flower, blue color flower. All right. So.
Yes, there are a few messages on
Yes.
CAP Facebook. Okay. Ms. Celine Lim shared that she makes mint egg soup with a bit of vegetable stock. It enhances the vegetable stock. And also you can add pandan leaves with the butterfly pea flower for drink. Yeah. Okay, so rest of it is more. Can Indian borage be replaced mint in the mint sauce? Does it taste nice? So just now you had given the recipe for the mint dip and mint sauce. Can you use Indian borage ultimately?
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I think we can address the questions already. Okay. Instead of mint, you want to use Indian borage. That is a good suggestion, but not many will like the taste. You have to try it a bit and see. If you like the taste and if your family members can enjoy it, of course you can do it. Shouldn't be a problem. But mint gives a different taste, and Indian borage is a different taste and flavor. So you have to watch out for that. Okay. Mint is really a good appetizer, whereas Indian borage has a different aroma. So people might not really love it, but you can try it. No harm in trying. It is a good option. And earlier somebody asked whether we can dry up Indian borage. And Indian borage, you can dry it up, but the water content in Indian borage is quite high. Okay, because you can see that the leaves will be very thick. So the water content is high. Whenever we are drying herbs, the basic rule is you don't dry it under the direct sunlight. Okay, it will when you put it under direct sunlight, the plants will lose its properties. Okay, the medicinal value will lose the properties. Always dry it in a shaded area, and it will take a longer time. And when you're doing it in a shaded area indoor, of course, you have to watch out. If you never dry it properly, then the fungus will start developing. Okay, this is some basic rules when you're drying your herbal plants. And I think you can dry up the Indian borage, shouldn't be a problem, especially in Malaysian weather. They can dry it up very fast. But of course, any herbal plants, when you are drying it up, it will change color. It will become brown because it's losing the water content, and then the chlorophyll will be removing, and then it will become brown. Any what do you call, any herbal plants for that matter. All right. Of course, if you are drying up what do you call, drumstick, the it will remain, the green of the drumstick will remain the same, but majority all the herbal leaves will change color to become brown slightly. Okay. So you can try that out. Just make sure that you dry it up properly, and look out for, if it's never dry, always remember, never, if you never dry it properly, then fungus may develop. Just check it out of that. Okay, now the sawtooth coriander is the Colantro, the very first slide which I showed. All right. Colantro, I mentioned earlier that, oh, sorry, I missed out this. For butterfly pea, you can dry the flower and you keep it. If your house, you have a lot of butterfly pea and you're harvesting it daily, you just dry it up and store it. You can use it as the dry one also equally will give the same color as the fresh one. All right. Okay, now the what do you call, the Colantro I mentioned earlier. The propagation of the Colantro is also called as sawtooth uh, uh, coriander because of the shape, the serrated area, the jagged. That is the reason the name is given as sawtooth coriander. I already mentioned that you can propagate with the root, and if you have seeds, you can apply the seeds. You don't even have to collect the seeds for the propagation. Once your plant already start having the seeds will disseminate by itself, and you can see young ones growing all around the area. Unless if you want to collect the seeds and preserve it, then you have to watch out when the fruits are maturing, it's turning color into, if it's slightly brownish, then you cut it up and then you dry it up separately. Otherwise, if you are buying it from the market, when you're buying it, normally they sell it with the root. All right, just cut up the root portion and then you insert, then you'll start having a new ones. All right. Magis, I think I've addressed all the questions.
Yes. Any other questions? I see that Mr. Subarao, CAPS Education Officer, is here. Would you like to give a closing address, Mr. Suba?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Teres. That was a wonderful and healthy presentation. Even I learned a lot, even though with you, and learn a lot from here. I hope the participants, around 30 of participants, thank you very much. Thanks for your sharing your views. And we also have a book, on these herbs in daily life in 4 languages. It's only 4 ringgit. You can go to CAP online and you can purchase the book, or you can contact CAP marketing office, and you can get the book. And there are some fake news. Some people say, hey, don't listen to CAP lah, don't read CAP statement lah, because always they say don't eat that, don't eat that. No, it's really a wrong fake news. We always have a good thing to eat and healthy thing to eat. So we also recommend that. Okay. And whatever we say, even as day program, we had a small program. We prepared this the tea, with the butterfly tea and also bunga raya tea for the participants. So we don't provide carbonated drinks or coffee or tea to the participants. So try to make this at your home and be a healthy, bring a healthy, create a healthy lifestyle. Okay, thank you very much for participating in today's program. Hope we can meet you some other day, and take care and stay healthy life.
Okay, thank you very much, friends. We will end the Facebook live streaming, but for those who are still on Zoom, please stay on. Yeah. Thank you very much, Ms. Saras. Yeah, can you please switch on, for those who are on Zoom, can you please switch on your cameras so that we can take a photo?
Like
We still have,
this is the
yeah, herbs in.
Subha was saying this now, herbs in daily life. And we also have this garden to plate if you are interested to get. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
those who are here and who have filled up the registration form, we will send you the books for free. Yeah? This is for attending our program today. And for those who are overseas, this is for one time only. We will scan and send the book to you. Okay, thank you, everyone. We will be ending the session now. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.